did 2 more shows as the announcer, and then on the 3rd show, I was on camera with 3 other guys. We did all the comedy, and I had a ball for about 4 years. It was just Hollywood, California. Oh,
How many of you remember the Sonny and Cher show? Anybody? I'm sure the reruns live on YouTube. But there's still a contingent here that remembers that. I remember that growing up. And it's absolutely phenomenal. Of course, everyone's going to ask the story of how Optimus Prime came to be. And if you haven't heard this story before, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tremendously amazing story. Peter, if I could have you recount that to our folks.
yeah. My brother Larry and I shared an apartment in a really difficult time of my life, and it was in the 1984. And I was auditioning all the time. I decided years before just to concentrate on my voice and just do voiceovers and no more on camera. So I was going to a lot of auditions, and one of them was for the Transformers. And I knew nothing about it except that these were toys that kids could make into a real character, other than being a truck. It could be a walking, living character. And so with that, I went to the audition, and I was to read the part of Optimus Prime. And that's all I knew, was that he was a truck and he was a hero. And when I went out, I needed the car, so I said, Larry, I'm going to need the car. I'm going to auditions, and I was going to auditions all the time. And he said, what's it this time, Pete? I said, I'm going to be a truck. And he started laughing. He said, a truck. What does a truck sound like, Pete? I said, no, Larry, he's a hero truck. I mean, he's a real hero. And his face got very serious. He had returned from Vietnam, prior years before. And he was a true hero. He was a Bronze Star with V, Purple Hearts, and some severe campaigns. So he looked at me and he said, and his voice just got deeper. He said, Peter, if you're going to be a hero, be a real hero. Don't be one of those Hollywood phonies, yelling and screaming and pretending he's tough. Be strong enough to be gentle. And I took that and walked up to the fence line, and this voice stayed with me all the way to the audition. I was the only person in the room, and I saw the script to read, picked it up. They called me inside the booth, and I went inside the recording booth. And Larry's voice was right there in my head. And the first lines were, my name is Optimus Prime. And I just did Larry. I just said, from the planet Cybertron. And I was thinking to myself, strong enough to be gentle. And I just read the whole thing, and by the time I was finished, I walked out, I looked up and I said, thanks, Larry. Thank you, buddy. Wow, if they don't pick you, they're nuts. But I got home, I thought 5 days later, I realized that I got the job, and I was excited. But more excited when I got to meet all the other people that I was going to work with for several more years, and guys like Michael Bell. I mean, there's so many people that touched my life as they touched yours, so that's that, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.